I've eaten a lot of raccoon. Yes. The answer is yes. And I've eaten it hunting. I've actually had it served by my mom at the table away from hunting. And I have eaten raccoon. And yes, it's not uncommon at all. I'll tell you something that is one of my favorites is squirrel. And it's wonderful, and my mother could do a great job of it. And we all had our favorite pieces, and my dad and sister, I have one sibling, a sister, and they would fight over, not fight, but my mom and I, they were just, my sister and I as far as siblings, my mom and I wouldn't even ask for the brain in a squirrel.
Oh, man.
One Star Cowboys podcast is back. We're recording this on Wednesday, December 18th at night, ahead of Sunday Night Football, Cowboys and the Buccaneers. And as we've said for the last couple of weeks, we are still in the hunt, my friends. We made the graphic on Sunday Night Football right on the end, made the graphic on Monday Night Football, in the hunt, hanging in. Gotta love it. 3 games to play.
Hanging around the rim.
Hanging around the rim. Just where they want to be. Took a lot of questions from our listeners. So let's get right to those. That's John Machota. That's Saad Youssef. We've got Kent Garrison here. I'm Kevin Turner. Let's have some fun before let's just jump in. It's like Merry Christmas to our listeners. If you had to, I don't like using gun to head. That's not a good one. If you had to, gonads to frozen
water
bike
gun
seat.
to head.
I don't have a good one
Super
right now.
soaker to head.
Okay.
How many wins did the Dallas Cowboys end up with this year? 6, 7, 8, or 9? Tough one, huh? Tough one. Maybe on the count of 3, everyone say what they're thinking.
Okay.
Huh?
All right.
Hold on. Let me give it a little more thought. Hold on.
6. Okay. And by the way, Tampa Bay at Philadelphia, Washington. Every team has something to play for on the way out here. So this is...
Yeah, nothing that you're going to say is going to change my number, but go ahead. Finish out what you're going to say.
So I'll say 3, 2, 1, and then you say 6, 7, 8, or 9. That'll be your number. How many wins would the Cowboys end up with? And 3, 2, 1, 7. Saad. Okay.
Saad's been pro Cowboys all season. How many times has he picked the Cowboys? It's like, my God.
Well, okay. So here, real quick, here's my reasoning.
You've been drinking.
I think it comes down to, for me, I think they beat Washington in the finale because I think Washington somehow manages to lock in the 7 seed or something before week 18. So I don't know if that's possible because I know those NFC West teams are right on the tail for the wild card. So, but I'm kind of like, without giving it too much thought, I'm thinking Washington has the 7th seed locked in by week 18. So I'm thinking that's a win because of that. And then I'm thinking they split Bucks Eagles. So that's why I got to 8.
Okay.
Wow.
I mean,
if Washington doesn't have anything if Washington has to fend off one of those NFC West teams in week 18, then I think Washington absolutely wins that game. But I'm assuming Washington won't. That's why I pick 8.
Saad is the leader in our picks this year so far. So if that means anything, a good 8 and 9 year. Should we get him? Okay.
No. Oh, hang a banner.
Yeah. Mission accomplished. How are we feeling about our 2025 4th rounder right now? Jonathan Mingo. What was it, 13 snaps the other day? What is the expectation there?
When you give up a 4th round pick, that he's going to be a good player. Maybe not this year. I think you'd hope that you get to see something from him. That's not happening. As long as CeeDee Lamb's out there, he's going to get the majority of targets, deservedly so, from Cooper Rush. It's obvious that Cooper Rush is looking for him quite a bit. But I still, even if it continues this way for the final 3 weeks, I would not write him off completely. I think he deserves a full off season and, going into training camp. But what I've seen from him, what I've seen from Jalen Tolbert, knowing that Cooks is likely gone, there's probably very little that Mingo will do that will get me to completely shut off the idea of drafting a wide receiver within the first few rounds.
Yeah, I think Mingo's situation reminds me a little bit of how the Cowboys functioned with the running back room coming into this year. Like you have a good number two running back, and then you have a bunch of number fours or like bad threes. And like, so you have CD Lamb, you have an elite number one, and then you have a bunch of threes. And I feel like Mingo just falls into that. I feel like Tolbert's a three. Brooks is a three. Honestly, Cooks right now is a three as well, a three talent. And so for me, but I do completely agree with John. It's really easy because it's the Cowboys to pile on, and
Yeah.
the Trey Lance trade because it was also a fourth rounder makes it a really easy narrative. But you do have to look at it a little bit realistically and understand it was a midseason trade, no QB1. All of those circumstances do go. So like I'm a lot quicker to be disappointed in Tolbert, even though he's doing more than Mingo, than I am with Mingo because it's just TBD for me with Mingo until the start of next year.
Yeah, the only way I'm okay with what they have at wide receiver going into next year is then you'd have to somehow explain to me how they were able to draft Ashton Genty and it turns into a team that flips its running game and there isn't as much emphasis on the passing game. Obviously, it's 2024, it's going to be 2025. You need passing game in the NFL. But if you tell me that they flip the run game to where all of a sudden it's a major weapon and they have a top 10 rush attack, I can get by a little bit with a Mingo and a Tolbert and Cavante Turpin and Jake Ferguson and Luke Schoonmaker filling out your 2, 3, 4 receivers. But the thing I keep coming back to, though, is don't get me wrong. CD has been incredibly, incredibly durable. But if you were to lose him for even a little bit of time, you're in such a bad shape with that receiving group. That's why, again, I think I'm not saying you have to do it in the first round, but I think wide receiver has to be addressed pretty early again.
Without
Yeah,
CD, this is worse than 2018.
For
Easy.
sure. For sure.
no doubt. I agree with that. And Asada, like you said, like it's either the Cowboys, like we don't pile on. We're just answering questions here. We're just answering questions.
This is a safe space.
This is a safe space. Green, it's Green Corey on Blue Sky. Would trading a first to the Rams for Sean McVay do more to improve the team than any player we could take with that pick?
Ooh, these are good questions. You were right, KT. These are strong.
As a great man once said, I'm just getting warmed up.
Okay, I like that. I am a huge Sean McVay fan. I would rather have Sean McVay and give up the one. I don't think that's very realistic. It's even the fact of, or it's not a fact, but even the thought of, I would think that the Rams might even want more than that. But for me, one, McVay, I would entertain that for sure.
This year's one?
If you can't do it, yes. Well, whatever they want, I would be entertaining it. Okay. But if it's not Sean McVay, I maintain that the best thing or the most impactful thing that they could do this offseason would be to get Ashton Genty and turn the running game around, because what it would do for that defense, what it would do for Dak and the passing game and take some of the pressure off there, it would give me very 2014, 2016 vibes. And hey, you know what? Maybe it's not even just Ashton Genty. Maybe it's one of those things where there's somebody so good that falls to them at 14 that they can't even pass up DN, corner, whatever it is. Drafting a running back in the second or third round to pair with Rico Dowdle, you could get me down that path. I don't feel as comfortable or as good about the upside of that as you tell me right now, hey, I've just looked into my crystal ball. They're taking Ashton Genty. That's probably the move that could turn it the most, I think, if you're only talking about one move, and that obviously would take a first round pick.
Yeah, and I like the nature of these questions because it's very AMA type where I haven't given too much thought to it, but I will say I would rather give up without knowing I haven't studied the draft deeply, what positions are good, top heavy, depth, all that stuff. I feel like I would rather give up 2 ones if it was 2026 and 7 and keep this one than give up just this one And then you don't have to give up another like 2 or something like that for McVay. But I love McVay. I think he would do great here, and yeah, would love to see it.
I'm going to now cheat the system here to take a question from our listener and then add on to it. Is Jerry or the Jones family or whatever, are they in the business of paying a head coach what a head coach is going to want in this day and age? Because I think, honestly, the way head coaching numbers might end up going and have in some instances, Mike McCarthy at $5 million or whatever his contract is, was it somewhere around there? It kind of feels like a bargain, which is weird. And I'm saying that about Mike. So it's weird.
I can't see them doing it because their track record has been pretty clear that they're not looking to be the highest spender when it comes to coaches. So that's one part of it. Then the other part of it is, what have you seen over the last 4 or 5 years? And to me, yeah, they'll play hardball with Dak and CD and Micah and that, but there's a salary cap there. So eventually they have to make a move there. And they've gone with what I think most people would go with the obvious choice. You don't want to move on from one of these guys. The chances of being better without them isn't great. But look at how they talk about everything when they talk about what they're going to do in free agency and how it's been around free agency, and that, like, they're never been the team that really you think is the most aggressive. They haven't done anything that make you think that they're, hey, we're the wealthiest franchise in all of pro sports. We're gonna use this money. We are gonna show you how much we're gonna turn over every leaf, and we're gonna spend every last penny. It doesn't matter what it is. We're gonna figure this thing out. They haven't shown you any of that. So why would you think that would change? And I certainly don't get the feeling that they feel that way about another coach in the NFL right now.
Yeah,
look at the deep coaching search they did after Garrett. I mean, deep.
Rooney Rule, McCarthy.
And by the way, I take back what I just said like 2 minutes ago.
I didn't want to jump in, but yeah, 2-1s. We're not doing 2-1s if we can give up 1-1.
Yeah, and on top of that, in 2027, I need the future quarterback to be drafted in that one in the first round. So
well, I tell you
what,
you
won't. Not with Sean. Sean will tool it together with Trey Lance.
I don't
know.
But regardless,
does Deion have any more kids playing quarterback left?
I don't think so.
But regardless, I do take that back because I also kind of was under like we've been in this weird limbo with the Cowboys for these last few weeks where, 4 weeks ago, this year's one was like a top 5 pick. And so it's like,
now it's
you
14.
really want that. Now it's like 14, 15. So now I agree. I wouldn't do the 26 and 27.
So you're more in the camp. 25. You're more in the camp of stick with what you got, run this thing even deeper into the ground, and then have that one next year to use on Arch Manning. I got it.
There you go. There you go.
I got you.
Exactly. Do you guys want to play the game? Highest paid NFL head coaches? I got it in front of me. Top 20.
Yeah, sure.
Shanahan comes in at number 6. Would you have to guess the value there?
10?
14 million.
Okay. Good for him. He deserves it.
That means the top 5 all make 15 million or more, though, a year. And yeah, like you said, it'd be 3 times what they're paying McCarthy. And just for fun, McCarthy is the 16th highest paid head coach in the league. A lot of these numbers are unofficial, but $4 million is what I can find on the internet. Dan Quinn makes $4.5 million in Washington.
Wow.
McCarthy, Raheem Morris, right there, tied for 16 at $4 million a year. So for 5 years of McCarthy, you could get 1 year of Andy Reid at $20 million.
Damn, good for Andy.
Got to be up there, right? McVay's got to be up there.
Mike McDaniel
is 5th at $15 million. Mike McDaniel actually $3.5 million.
Really?
And you know what? The Dolphins pretty cheap. Pretty cheap.
It's just wild to me because of the fact of, with college football, there's such a solid pecking order, especially if you got your contract recently. And let's be honest, that's probably has a lot to do with the fact that Jimmy Sexton represents most of the college coaches. But It's just a very okay, well, are you getting a new deal? All right, then you're probably in the 10 range or 12 or something like that. There isn't very much like Mike McDaniel to re-sign in college for what he did with the Dolphins, which, I mean, obviously he didn't take him to the Super Bowl or anything like that, but like there's no way he would be making that little, you know what I'm saying, to get a new deal from them.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
I got to go. Jim Harbaugh's got to be up there, right? Because like he was such a hot.
Yeah, Jim tied for third at $16 million a year. Tied for third with the coach who makes the play or has a winning record every single year, Mike Tomlin.
Okay.
Sean Payton, second most in Denver at $18 million a year. So McVay has 35. John Harbaugh, $12 million. Dan Campbell, Sean McDermott, $11 million. Mike McDonald in Seattle, $9 million. Doug Peterson, $8.5 million. Sirianni, $7 million. LaFleur, $6 million. Then you get to Zach
Did you
Taylor.
tell us number one?
And Quinn. Andy Reid, $20 million.
Andy
Yeah.
Reid. Okay. Yeah. Well,
So
no argument there.
that's the whole thing. I think that's going to come in. You know, Ben Johnson's going to ask for whatever. Well, he's kind of asking for much like these announcers and even the players. Like it just keeps going up. And as Saad pointed out today on Twitter X, minimum wage stays the same.
He did point that. I saw that.
Minimum wage.
Possibly might have
same.
added an emoji as well.
Joseph Hoyt. I don't know if you guys know Joseph Hoyt. I'm
Yes.
sure you do.
Yeah.
He asked a very important question. What dipping sauce would you use if you had to eat raccoon or squirrel?
Always ranch.
Whatever is the strongest sauce out there that can mask whatever the hell that's going to taste like. So
Jerry said delicious. So.
It just squirrel brains. Squirrel brains even.
How do you eat the squirrel brains? You just smear that on a cracker? How do you think that is consumed? You put that in a taco?
I tell you what, I just want to say to my friends over there, because your question's hard to answer. I don't know. Probably on a tostada, maybe. Let me try that even. But I would say we've come a long ways this year from trying to fire the morning show at the flagship station to giving them answers about eating raccoons and squirrel brains.
Yeah.
It's never a dull moment, you know? So
the best would have been like right when he's trying to fire them. If their follow up is that, well, Jerry, since we got you going, but obviously that Xavier Legette comment about raccoon eating for Thanksgiving or whatever didn't happen before then, but it would have been funny if that would have been the transition after he got all fired up. Like, well, let's just transition over to the delicacies that you like for the holidays. Actually, you know what? The right answer on all of that would definitely be hot sauce. Because that would be
that's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
It would mask the.
Now, how
any
strong?
stuff like that?
Dab?
Is this dumb logic on things like that? But like, I just feel like if any of this like random stuff tastes good, if it was really that good, why wouldn't it just be out there, available everywhere?
We'd be, yeah.
Have you seen this backwoods cooking guy on Instagram that has a fryer that can cook like 100 chicken legs at one time? Have you seen this?
No.
He cooks all this stuff. He cooks raccoons, snakes, alligators. It looks really good. So I'm not going to knock it till I try it, honestly.
Yeah, and I'm just not going to try it. I mean,
but like even so like I would say the most out of the box thing I ever had was alligator, and even like that, you're just like, yeah, there is a little bit of a chicken taste to it, but it's a lot tougher, and so it's just very easy to understand. Yeah, it's very easy to understand. Oh, well, that's why people would rather have chicken. It tastes better. You know, I mean, I'm from Michigan, so it's real popular, like hunting, deer, eating venison and that. It's fine. It's not as good as chicken or beef. Or there would be people would be eating deer everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not as good. Sorry.
I disagree. I think we're so used to chicken and beef that's what we think is the best. If you had never had chicken or beef and you had only grown up on venison and squirrel, you'd probably be like, yeah, it tastes like venison and squirrel.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. Chicken, okay, I agree with you. Chicken, I might be able to leave it or take it, but I'm still huge on chicken. But I can even give you possibly a pass there. But whatever human being for the first time had steak, there's no way they were just like, no, well, this is kind of like that squirrel brain. Like, stop it. This is ridiculous. Steak. We're not doing this. We're not doing it.
Yeah, steak is the best.
Joshua Harkins. Does the improved offensive line play recently make you think it can be lowered on the priority list this offseason, or do you still see this team addressing it fairly early in the draft?
Go ahead, Seth.
I'm encouraged by what I've seen from Brock Hoffman for sure, and TJ Bass as well. So I don't think all of a sudden, everything we were saying before. I still think 4 spots are up for evaluation. There nothing's changed on that front. Urgency, maybe a little bit. Maybe you're not reaching and you're taking best player available, and if it's not offensive line, maybe you're waiting a round or two or whatever. But no, I still think 4 spots are open. I do like what I've seen from Brock Hoffman and TJ Bass both. But that has not changed my evaluation, and especially not for Tyler Guyton, who I would have no problem if you found a really good left tackle and kicked him over to the right side. No problem with that.
Yeah, there's still quite a bit of money owed to Terrence Steele. I don't think they're going to move away from him. And so I'm not looking for an offensive tackle, but if there's a really good value there that I can't pass up, my scouts love, and they're just like, I can't believe this guy is here, I'm super interested in that because, I've said on here a couple of times about Ashton Genty, and I'm not sitting here saying that you just take him no matter what. I do believe that in my time covering the Cowboys, their very best picks are the ones where they do take that player that, you know what? Caleb on Chason fits a bigger need as of right now, but man, CD Lamb's still here. Great move. Zach Martin over Johnny Manziel. Even though I think most people would have taken Zach Martin over Johnny Manziel in the Cowboy situation, other than the team owner and general manager. The other one, obviously, Micah Parsons. It was such a corner. We need a corner. We need a corner.
Yeah.
Both of them go right before you. You trade it back a little bit. It's like, do you really need it? A traditional linebacker? You find out, well, he's such a great talent. He's going to do way more than be a traditional linebacker. He's going to be arguably the best pass rusher in the game. So I can't rule out offensive tackle in the first round. I don't think it's likely. But I would like to find another interior player at some point to kind of put in that group with them so that I have some options at right guard. This being with expecting Zach Martin not to be back next season, I'm saying this. And then that player can have some ability to play right guard or center. That would be ideal. I don't think that they're going to move Terrence Steele. I don't. I think that they're going to give him every chance to try and win that right tackle job. Or keep the right tackle job, sorry.
Yeah, and also Steele's contract is not long term. So that's the other thing is when I say kick Tyler Guyton over to the other side, I don't necessarily mean for 2025, but it could be, within the next couple of years that you're able to do that. So
you can only re-sign, by the way, this is Brandon Laurie. You can only re-sign one of these players for next year. Rico Dowdle.
What? Sorry. Go on.
Yeah, Rico Dowdle, Osa, or Jordan Lewis.
Yeah, so I immediately say Osa because I just think that he plays a position that it's very valuable because there's just not a lot of good defensive tackles out there. And if you don't think Osa Odighizuwa is talented or valuable, I can't wait to just see your reaction when you see what he signs for another team with, because he's going to get paid more than probably most are expecting. So I don't expect him to be re-signed by the Cowboys. So it's tough because in answering that question, it's like, if all the players are equal and the money doesn't matter, it's Osa, no question about it. I just think that his price is going to be so expensive that I think Rico makes the most sense because that is a Cowboys type. Well, you might have to, 1-2 year deal. It'd be pretty low, like team friendly type thing where I don't see Osa taking a team friendly deal at all.
Yeah, and I love Jordan Lewis, man, but he's going to be 30 when next season starts, and that's the issue. And I'm not. I do think they should bring back Jordan, but the question is, you can only bring back one, and it has to be Osa, not only because of how good Osa is, but you have nothing there. I mean, aside from Osa and his talent, I mean, what are you getting from Mozzie or anything else on the interior right now? And if you don't have Osa, even that's what gives me the edge for Osa over even Rico, because I do believe you can find a Rico Dowdle in the second round or whatever. I don't know that you can find a defensive tackle. You've been trying Tristan Hill, Mozzie Smith, and a couple of guys late in free agency, but when you've hit in that spot, I do think that you have to keep them, but the price is going to be high.
Yeah, the difference between Rico is going to be a few $1 million. Osa could be like $15-20 million per season. I'm talking about.
Well, this is where Golston comes into play for me too.
Yeah,
because he's left out of this hypothetical here. And surely he's way cheaper than Osa would be. And maybe it's like, okay, well, we'll keep Chauncey and hope he keeps developing and we can kind of get that high end, or hopefully, the ceiling's still there for him. But who's to say at a position like that Chauncey Golston doesn't go get way overpaid? I mean, none of us thought Dorrance Armstrong was going to get $10 to $12 million, did we? I don't know. Maybe we did.
No, but
I thought I was surprised when he got that much.
Yeah. You look back, though, on a lot of those guys that they didn't re-sign, though. I did. It is kind of funny now because I don't know about you guys. Maybe you guys differ. I'm fascinated to hear it if you do. But, like, who did they lose that you look at and you're like, man, if that guy's on this team right now, it would have been a way different season. Tyler Biadasz, Fowler, Dorrance, Stephon Gilmore.
I don't feel that way at all. And even when the running game was struggling, the offense was struggling in the beginning of the season, I was not going, man, if we would have kept Biadasz here, then
100%
everything.
Or even Tyron. The thing with Tyron was he had a tough year, and I do think he has a better year in Dallas just playing next to Tyler Smith. I think he has a better year. But the injury thing happened again, and he's banged up and he's definitely lost a step, I think, for sure. So that's a tough one because I do think that the situation makes a difference with Tyron, but yeah.
Yeah, the only one that jumps out to me, or at least when I'm thinking about it right now, would be Pollard. Because again, like I said, the Genty stuff, if like Pollard is running like he had been, I do think that they have a little bit better season, but they just were never going to pay running back. So it's hard for me to even have a hindsight on that one after they franchise tagged him. But he would probably be the one that on this particular team, you're going into week one. He's your guy. He's the one that's getting 15, 20 carries right off the rip. I'm not saying it would have been a great running game, but it probably would have been a better running game than the one that they've had this season.
If we're getting the full benefit of hindsight, I would also put Stephon Gilmore in there for me, just because if you're telling me that you're literally not going to have one of your outside corners the whole first half of the season, then you're not going to have the other half for the whole second half of the season, not knowing what the record is and stuff, then I'd be like, yeah, give me Gilmore and Bland or Gilmore and Diggs with Jordan inside. But of course they're there's no way I thought that going into training camp, because up until the last day of training camp, you literally thought you had Diggs, Bland, and Lewis, and I have no problem with that trio.
So 1 year, $7 million for Stephon Gilmore.
Yeah. But again, only if you told me that I would have a deficiency on one half of the field for the entire season.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to tie up $7 million in a 1 year deal on a guy when you're thinking that your starting corners are going to be Deron Bland, Trayvon Diggs, and Jordan Lewis. Well, that's tough. That's tough to do that at that time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's my whole point. Is like you're telling me I don't have one of those two guys, then I'm okay with it. But I had no problem with them letting Gilmore go when they did.
If Cooper Beebe shreds his ACL week one, of course I'd be sitting here saying right now, yeah, you've been better to keep Tyler Biadasz. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, of course. The other thing too is also through all of that, they like Kalen Carson, and he played and he had some rough moments, but they really liked him. And it does feel like telegraphing a pick, and you can tell that in the fifth round they're going to be taking a cornerback this year, and it's going to keep the streak going.
What about in the first? Can you rule that out?
I don't hate it. I absolutely don't hate it, given what we know with Trayvon now. I don't hate that.
And there's a possibility that Jordan Lewis is gone.
Yeah.
Deron Bland's coming back from a foot issue.
You better be able to cover. Yeah. I think you have to.
And when I say in the first round, that would be for that scenario I mentioned earlier where you're just like, we didn't plan on drafting a corner here, but we also didn't think the second best corner, maybe even the best corner on our draft board would be here at this time. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the only where I could see it potentially comes in. I don't know that they would go into the first round targeting that, But.
No. But
yeah, and
stack
also
your players.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Deron didn't break out until after Trayvon's deal. But to be honest, I would rather have Deron here for the long haul than Trayvon.
Well, and I think all of that comes together with look at the contracts that have been done already, and then honest questions, guys. Do we think we can help Kalen Carson be a starter next year? Because if we think he can do that, because we know Bland can play inside some and all that stuff. Like that's a really good question. They need to figure, is he a broken player now because he had some struggles, or do we still trust how we felt about him? And because, I don't know.
That's just it's crazy looking back. When do you think the first corner went in the draft this year? What pick?
Oh boy. I used to be good at stuff like this, John, but I've just gotten so old. Who was the first pick in the draft this year?
First pick would be Caleb Williams. The first corner didn't go in the top 10.
Okay. What pick?
22. Quinyon Mitchell to the Eagles. And then the Lions traded up to 24 with the Cowboys and took Terrion Arnold. So, yeah, not one in the top 20. That's crazy. Forgot about that. That won't happen this year. At least I don't think so.
No.
I think Will Johnson probably from the Michigan Wolverines will probably go in the top 15.
But these questions that you asked about cornerback, throwing that into the mix of these other positions we've talked about, that definitely gets me off and God knows it's a week before Christmas Day. It's too early to be talking about this stuff. But knowing that there are plenty of running backs, maybe there's no one named Ashton Genty.
Yeah.
But man, there's some good running backs in this draft. And that makes me just less and less want to go the Genty route.
Oh, I get that. One of the things that I also factor in is that if you're bringing back Mike McCarthy, I think it's in your best interest for it to be the Genty side, because if you go with a second or third back and Rico Dowdle, I can see him getting away from the running game. If you use your one on Ashton Genty, his hand is forced. He has to feed him every single game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you took it there, because our next question comes from Alec Ventura. And if they decide to keep Mike McCarthy, how will it work? Does he agree to a 1-year deal for 2025, or are they actually seriously ready to commit 3 more years with him when they know they don't like to fire coaches and weren't sold enough to extend him before the year? I think it's a great question. Like, we've talked about him being gone, him staying. Let's talk the nuts and bolts of how does this actually work? A team that has historically just given out 5-year contracts. We know McCarthy could do the whole, well, I'm not doing a 1-year deal, although he might. I don't know. I guess, how does it work? I'm fascinated to see what y'all think about this.
10 years?
10-year deal. Lifetime contract.
Mahomes deal.
Defer some of those payments.
Yeah.
I think I don't think it'll be a 1-year deal. I don't either. That's the one thing that I feel pretty confident about if they do bring him back. At minimum 2 or 3 years. The interesting thing is, like what you said, KT, is Jerry's been singing this song of how, like, how much he regrets firing Wade and midseason. And so, because if you give him a 2 or 3 year deal, and I would lean towards about 3, but if you're doing that, then are you actually saying that you're not going to be willing to fire not midseason, but mid-contract? Like, that's a different conversation. Again, Jerry said he doesn't want to fire mid-season. He hasn't said anything about not firing mid-contract. So that doesn't mean that it's not really a quote-unquote wink-wink 1-year deal, even if it's 3 years.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think 3 years is probably the sweet spot there. I think that's probably what it would be. And then it'd probably be Zimmer would also get 3 years. That would be one of those deals, kind of like the Kellen Moore thing, where it's like, well, this is part of the deal. We like where the defense is going, Mike. So Mike Zimmer is going to remain the defensive coordinator. And I think a lot of people would want to see McCarthy have to hire an offensive coordinator, maybe with some newer ideas and such. I just don't think Mike McCarthy signs that deal unless he can remain being the offensive coordinator and calling the plays. Or the play caller, I guess. Technically, Brian Schottenheimer is the offensive coordinator.
It's just such an unknown, and I can't believe that it's reversed to this point, but it has, of how much leverage McCarthy will have for a negotiation. Like, with McCarthy's like, well, these guys making more money. I need to make a little more money. Like,
yeah, I can see that, but I don't know, like, how many other options is he going to have? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll ask you this.
Man, okay, I flip-flopped on this crap all for the whole time, because we know the 5 or 6, 7 openings, and I'm like, I could see someone doing it, but
they agree to part ways. What's the most likely spot he would go to?
I'm voting Saints right now.
I was going to say
McCarthy?
Saints.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
You're talking
Saints
about
is kind
McCarthy,
of like
correct?
what I would
Yes.
say, but
Jets.
again, you're talking about like
I love it. I love it.
Wait, what'd you say?
I want it and I love it and I
Jets.
want it.
No way.
Hey,
Yeah.
have you guys made it to the Aaron Rodgers documentary yet?
No, I'm doing that tonight.
But McCarthy wearing his Cowboys polo comes off really good in that. And it's
My
because the
favorite
main
thing
character's
was
so
in the,
unlikable.
I was about to say, yeah, you're stepping
Make-
into a real good spot there.
When he says in the trailer, he's like, it's me versus Father Time. Spoiler alert, Father Time wins.
Yeah. You lose that battle every day, bud. Ask Mike Tyson. You ask him right now. No, it's interesting, and it's a 3-parter, and I'm only through 2 parts of it, and there's a lot of annoying stuff.
Yeah, well,
to
you fill me in. I don't think I can stomach a full episode, much less 3. So you tell me about the good parts, like kind of the way Twitter's done for me with the Aaron Hernandez show with the great acting from the gentleman who's playing Bill Belichick, the gentleman who's playing Robert Kraft, the gentlemen that are playing Aaron Hernandez and Rob Gronkowski. Like, I love that people are clipping this stuff up and I can just see the highlights and I don't have to waste my time watching the whole thing. So if you can do that same thing for me with this Rodgers one, that would be great.
I'll just send you the best parts.
Yes, please do.
There's a part where he's banging a bongo. I'm serious.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Just natural, huh?
I will say, very well done, Netflix. the production, the way they weave in the storylines, they did a good job. And it's all annoying, but it's also pretty good. So,
yeah. Can you just imagine being the smartest person ever to walk this earth? Like, man,
dude,
that's crazy. And have that arm too. Like, man, the gifts that man has.
Okay, yeah. Cowboys fans don't want to hear us talk about Aaron and Rodgers.
I don't know how you.
I can't say
Cowboys
the
fan,
Jets,
Buccaneers fan, Bears fan, Lions fan. How could you be a fan of any NFL team and not have this guy shoved down your throat?
This is where
I'm sorry. Is it because the Jets are playing so well this year? Is that why it is? He's playing at such a high level. Is he up for the MVP? But everywhere you go, it's like you can't escape this dude.
He's the jelly roll of the NFL. Yeah. I told you guys, I've started my list. I started my list of the quarterbacks as pop stars.
Don't put me in the spot where I have to stick up for Aaron Rodgers, okay? He's clearly had a level of success of when he's been at his best. Nobody's ever done it better. No one's saying that about Jelly Roll.
I'm just telling you,
KT off the air.
My quarterbacks, dude, Jelly Roll actually is around more than Aaron Rodgers is. Trust me.
See the amount of texts KT and I exchanged about Jelly Roll, it would probably blow your.
Who's a bigger fan?
Just constantly talking Jelly Roll.
Who's a bigger fan? What do you mean?
You or Kent?
Oh, I'm not a fan.
KT for sure.
Yeah. I think it's amazing though. I do. I can't find it, but I'm telling you, John, I've made my quarterback. I've got it on a document. My quarterback says pop stars based on what they've done, where they are now in their career. And hey, Dak was a tough one.
I was about to say, you can't tease us with that without giving us who Dak is.
I know, and that's why I'm dying right now because I can't find it. But it's on one of my 11 documents that I always have open, just writing crap down. So when I do find it,
who's Ariana Grande?
Okay, so someone with a bit of a late. It's not Russell Wilson, but it's someone like a bit of a resurgence. I'm serious in that I have spent a lot of time on this. Unfortunately,
who's Josh Allen? Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, we gotta give us somebody. Who's Billie Eilish? I can do this.
Oh no,
Swift.
Yeah. Taylor is probably Josh Allen.
Yeah, that's
well. Then who's Mahomes?
Beyonce.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm always Beyonce.
Who's the greatest of all time? Although, hold on. When your husband is in charge of picking the Super Bowl halftime act, it's pretty low rent that you're doing the Netflix Christmas Day halftime show.
No.
Like,
yes.
A little weird.
More money.
I love Kendrick Lamar.
I don't think you get paid to do the the Super Bowl halftime show.
Well, when your husband is making the decisions.
Yeah, but Netflix probably said literally, Beyonce,
Yeah.
what do you want?
Yeah, I get it.
Is Dak Selena Gomez?
Well, that would mean he's out of the league right now because Selena doesn't really, do the music thing anymore too much.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But
okay.
maybe
It is kind of Dak though, kind of lays low, kind of under the radar.
But she's still in the mix. Dak's kind of.
Yeah.
I'm worried Dak's.
I just feel
mental health initiatives.
I just feel like early in his career, like either 16 or 17, back when he first got with the team, I want to say that I don't know if it was the team website or somewhere. He was asked about like a celebrity crush. I remember he said it was Selena Gomez. This is like way like he would never do that now.
No, of course
he would never have done that in the last 5 or 6 years. But
You know
it was
what
like
this
his
was?
first year.
I did this video. It was
Okay.
a kids interview the Cowboys.
Okay, it was Selena, right?
That's when he said, "Yeah, yeah."
Okay, that's what I thought.
Dude, that was my childhood crush too. She's from Grapevine. So
How old are you?
Shout out.
I'm 29.
Guy, your baby.
To be young again.
To be young again, my friend.
She's a little older than me.
She's from
like,
Grand
I think
Prairie, Sod.
Oh yeah, Grand Prairie. Sorry, not Grapevine. Yeah,
Grapevine is Demi, I believe.
Yeah, Demi
Demi and
Lovato.
Posty.
Look,
What
we
was that
wasted-
movie? She did a movie that was like promoted a lot here, Monte Carlo or something.
Who, Demi or Selena?
No, Selena.
She's in one called Amelia Perez right now or something.
Sister Act 2, Back in the Habit.
No,
She did Spring Breakers.
that was a crazy one. Okay, because that was her like coming out of like Disney, Selena, and this was like really, really scandalous.
Yeah,
stuff.
you know who stole the show of that, and I didn't even seen the movie, but I just have seen this part of it. Is that I don't know, like the girls get arrested and they have to go in front of a judge, and the judge is John McClane, the former Houston Texans beat writer.
What?
In Spring Breakers,
Yeah.
Come
he's
on,
the
dude.
judge.
Yeah, so he
No
went
way.
to he went to school. I think he went to school with somebody that was a director or producer or something of that movie. It might even been a
love that.
roommate or something.
Well, he went to school with Harmony Korine.
Harmony Korine, that sounds right. Yeah.
Very odd guy.
Did he go to?
I also love
Baylor?
when Brad Sham pops up in W, the Oliver Stone movie.
Oh, okay.
That's
Very
wild.
end. I think Brad Sham might have the last line in that movie.
What? Andy has his own burger at Rodeo Goat?
Yeah.
What a
blessed
life. That's amazing.
Radio Goat.
Radio Goat.
See what I did there?
That was about as off the
That's
wheels
good,
as we've
Ken.
been.
No, it's good. It's good, and you deserve an award for that. You're going to get a podcast deal.
I asked him
whatever they
about
give
it.
The Kelsey brothers. I don't know.
I asked him about it. I don't think he picked that. I think they picked it for him and put his name on it.
Back to questions about things and stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Next show though, we're gonna check back, and you better have your pop singer Dak comparison.
I'll be ready.
Start the show with it. I don't care how the game goes. Start the show with it. Continue.
Actually, I don't want to do that. That's too new. Is Rico Dowdle worth considering as the long-time solution at running back? His play lately tells me investing high draft capital at the running back position is unnecessary and should go to other positions of need, of which we have plenty. Brian Robinson. We've kind of already hit on that, but want to give Brian his shine.
Yeah, it's a good question. I would need to see more. I mean, these are the two worst rush defenses that he's gone against recently in Carolina and New York, and Cincinnati isn't that much better. So I would need a bigger sample size to say definitively that's the case. I would like to pair him with maybe more of a receiving back type, and that maybe I use a second or third round pick on. So yeah, the other thing is with Rico is that he's been great this year, but there has been an injury history. This isn't his first year. He was in the 2020 draft. He was signed by the Cowboys as an undrafted guy in 2020. So this year, how healthy he stayed has been an outlier, especially with the carries, the chance that I think he's 120 yards away from 1,000. So he's done enough. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking him. He's done enough that he deserves a chance to have a big role, whether it be on the Cowboys or somewhere else. But that he would not stop me from drafting another running back. To be honest with you, they should have drafted one last year or the year before. You need to have these young backs kind of stacked. You can't just depend on one young guy like that, and that's why even when I say with Ashton Genty, like I'm not saying that, oh yeah, you had Ashton Genty and let everybody else go. Like you still need to add a veteran to the mix as well.
Yeah.
A veteran that still has some tread left on the tire, though. Sorry, Saad, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think, going back to really what John's point a little while back, I and the question asked a similar thing, like other needs. I don't think that they should reach for need, because I really do think they are at their best, and for better or worse, kind of the worst, but they have a lot of needs. So their best player available, as long as it's not a quarterback, is probably going to fill a need somewhere on the roster. Like, being a little over the top, I'm not saying everything but quarterback is a need, but no, I'm not. It's not that far off. So there is that. But yeah, I do think Rico, depending on the price tag, has proven to be worthy of being in the running back room in the future. And look, to be honest, like I wrote about that before he popped off for 100 yards. I wrote a story about how like you should sign him right now, because to me he'd shown me enough even before he had his run of 100-yard games that he's capable of doing that. But it's the example that I keep using. I know I've used on this pod a million times. It's the Marion Barber thing. You had Marion Barber, you drafted Felix Jones and Tashard Choice after he broke out. So you still need to pair him with a couple of capable, at least one other capable back.
Yeah, and look, I mean, Rico is good to have a team. If Rico can go get more money, he's out of the question anyways. Like if some team really wants him and wants to play that game, they can. So some of it might be out of your hands.
And I don't think
because there are teams that have cap room and just, we see this every year at free agency when we're doing nothing. There are teams who throw around money, and usually those teams aren't very good, by the way.
Yeah. And I also don't think that by saying any, like Saad, you mentioned about any, like there's so many positions you could consider high in the draft. You also should consider them because of the team that we're talking about. Like they're not going to do anything big in free agency or via a very, very unlikely even via a trade. So this is your chance to really add a major impact player. And so, yeah, there are a lot of areas where I think other teams you could sit there and go, well, they might invest some free agents at that spot or this. Like we don't. You got to go into this offseason thinking, hey, whatever they do in the first, second round, that's going to be their biggest, most impact players. Like that's probably what you're going to have to work with.
Okay, so this is a good question from my guy, Andrew Carter. How often, this is such a good question. How often does a coach actually lose the locker room? It gets thrown around every year with teams across the NFL, but is it something that is that is as common as coaches getting fired?
Oh, I wrote about it literally this morning. I wrote about how I think it's really overrated. We talked about before on the podcast post game about, just because your team's still trying hard. I do think it happens. I think we kind of saw an example of it with Jason Garrett, or sorry, not Jason Garrett, Wade Phillips, when Jason Garrett took over. I do think when you go for there are signs. In 2009, the Cowboys were an 11-5 football team, and they started 1-7. I do think that Wade Phillips kind of lost the room a little bit, and then Jason Garrett finished 5-3. So it does happen. I don't know how often. I don't think terribly often, but it does happen.
Yeah, I think it happens probably more often with just bad organizations, when you're just bringing in bad coaching hire after bad coaching hire. KT and I are very familiar with the NFC North. The Bears and Lions come to mind with me with just some things where I'm not going to sit here and say it's a Wade Phillips thing, like, where just guys are just quitting, but it's just such bad play that you're just like, guys are still trying because they know that the film is on and they're not trying to put out bad tape. So I'm not saying that they're just completely just running out of bounds, even though pretty sure someone did that on the Bears this year. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's very often, but definitely with some of the bad teams, it certainly happens. And I think that, there was a good opportunity really for it to happen to the Cowboys Sunday in Carolina, with how gut wrenching that way that they lost to the Bengals was, and then how much that made it even more likely of you making the playoffs, you absolutely could have just cashed in against the Panthers, just shown up and been like, yeah, whatever. Even in the game, like the way that the first half ended, you could easily have cashed it out. And the way that they came out right out of the locker room fighting, I do think that's a little bit of an outlier for a team like where the Cowboys are right now. I think it'd be easy to kind of cash it in.
Yeah, and it is funny how quickly that narrative gets thrown out there, right? And I was just like, we should be reminded of this every year. Like in the NFL, how a team is playing in a 3 or 4 game span is usually not how they end up. Like you'll go see numbers and you're going to see numbers that look like the Cowboys are a really good rushing offense at the end of the year, things like that. And you're like, okay, well, in September and October, they were not. And this, how this kind of works. The Cowboys now all of a sudden have some really good defensive statistics. And at the end of the year, you can say whatever they mean. And it really is way more cohesive. And I also think like just a lot of like, random things can happen in a season and little things determine a lot of games. Like the cohesion of everything coming together and working as a unit matters far more than a lot of times whatever some full team stat says at the end of the year,
or what the team stats say after like one game, like in the playoffs against the Packers.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to use all the Cowboys. What are they really good on third down now? Most sacks in the league since Mike has been back. The numbers that you're going to see on the front of the Cowboys game release, because you got to find some good crap to put up there, which every team does it. Okay.
Can you imagine you get one of those and it's like on the very front page? It's Jason Garrett's last 5 years next to Mike McCarthy's 5 years, like with the wins, playoff wins, all that. It's just like right on the front. You're just like, what are you guys doing?
It's very weird. Patrick Waite. How can we be in a situation that it's believed there are no other head coaching or play caller options than Mike McCarthy at this point? And how can anyone look at the play calling while we still had Dak and say that the combination of plays and personnel was impactful or effective? There's a lot there, I know.
Yeah, I mean, it's totally fair to say that the offense has gone stale and it's not anything that gives you a lot of hope that it's going to be a lot different next year. I think Mike McCarthy has a lot of strengths in terms of being kind of the CEO coach and game planning of like the way they're going to attack an opponent and even adjusting to what that opponent does during the game. Like, oh, okay, well, they're doing this. I mean, that's a big part of being a coach at any high level of football. It's adjusting to what the other team is doing. I think he's very good in those areas. I mean, how he's been and had the team ready on short weeks and having the team prepared and getting guys rest and things. I think he's great at all of that. But in terms of like calling the plays on offense and being the offensive coordinator or the offensive play caller, there's absolutely, he deserves the criticism. There isn't a lot there. That's why I said that the best thing that could happen would be the Genty thing, because I think that would be a little bit more running and it would kind of give you more of a 50-50 offense than what you see right now. And it just, I don't. I understand why people ask about that. If you would have told me that this would have been the results 5 years ago when Mike McCarthy was hired, I would have said there's no way that we'd even be talking about, a possible extension. Especially, I mean, let's be honest, it's all about the playoffs for us. I mean, how many years have we talked about like, well, he's going to have to get at least to the division round. Well, he's probably got to get at least to the Super Bowl. It's like, how about at least even make the playoffs? Like if I said that happened in his last year, I think that 99% of people would say, oh, well, then, he didn't come back after that.
Yeah, for me, Turpin is kind of the example with all of this. Is like, man, as a play caller, offensive coordinator, that's a weapon that like, Kyle Shanahan's kind of turned into Debo. And I'm not saying Turpin needs to be Debo and like, has to have that role, but like, I remember John and I had this conversation in the press box, and I know John mentioned this as well. Whatever that game was, I think the Eagles game where like Turpin had that deep touchdown catch. It's just like where's some of this been? Like,
how has there not been another slant thrown to him at all since then? Now, because my thing is it's stuff around the line of scrimmage, because he's shown that like when you send him deep, it's almost like, what are we doing here? Like these shots along the sideline and these deep balls, you're just like, what? I mean, this isn't happening, guys. Yeah. This isn't a high percentage throw. But the stuff around the line of scrimmage, get him into like a tunnel screen and stuff like that. I don't understand how there hasn't been more of that.
Yeah. And I get so for me, that's the example of it.
Yeah, yeah. And like little things like, okay, the slant route, okay, well, the defender took away the inside. Okay, but okay. He goes in motion and then back the other way. And I hate doing this, but it's the easy thing to do right now. When you go watch the Lions play, and the Lions don't really have a guy like that. They use Khalif Raymond as this guy sometimes, but watch how they use Amon-Ra St. Brown. Watch how the Packers use Jaden Reed. Like they get those touches that aren't all behind the line of scrimmage. You know, they're like shallow plays, but the ball is in their hands very quickly because they were put in motion and kind of back and forth. And that's where it's like that. It seems like an easy fix.
Yeah,
and it's not happening.
Where are the attempts in the red zone to throw to Chuma Adoga and throw to Terrence Steele and to, get these red zone opportunities for Tyler Guyton? Where is this stuff?
Yeah, where is this coming from?
I mean, come on,
dude. No, you know that's not what I was saying.
I know. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
So look, we'll have the review weekend review podcast a little bit later in the week. We're out of questions.
Good questions, though, man. Really good.
Yeah,
while you're here, I do. This is as of a few hours ago. Just a quick. I don't want to spend all night. Just a couple minutes here. So our temperature for the college football playoff games, real quick. We have 28 degrees and possible snow for Notre Dame, Indiana. We've got 29 degrees and cloudy for SMU, Penn State. We've got 62 degrees and sunny for Texas and Clemson, and we have 30 degrees and cloudy for Ohio State and Tennessee. Beautiful. What are your predictions, man?
Notre Dame, Ohio State, Texas, SMU.
You think SMU is going to sneak past Penn State, huh?
Yeah, probably not. I just didn't want to go with all the favorites, but yeah, give me Penn State. I just can't see them going up there in that weather either.
Chalk.
Yeah, I just can't. I can't see. I mean, well, let's be honest. That's the way it's designed. It should be. That's a heavy. I mean, it's not even like that in college basketball. It's not like, oh, well, yeah, the high seed. You can at least play the first round in your home venue. You think there'd be very many 16 ones that are even competitive if they had to play in the ones home arena? You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah I don't think all four will be chalk, but I think at least 3 will.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I go Notre Dame, Penn State, Tennessee, and Texas.
Tennessee beating Ohio State, man.
Yeah.
Ryan Day would probably not have a job after that. So
I cannot stand Dabo. But
wait,
I just
whoa. Who can?
Yeah, true.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
But you have to say that if you're about to pick Clemson to upset Texas.
Okay, fair.
Texas, it's a little unbelievable.
He just gives off a big Ernest P. Worrell vibe to me that I just can't get past. Ernest goes to Austin. Sorry, go on.
That guy, he has have that, doesn't he? I didn't know that was Ernest's last name.
Ernest P. Worrell.
Slam dunk Ernest. So Quinn Ewers, in my estimation, is not a good thrower of the football. And I just think when you have Cooper Manning's son, why wouldn't you?
Hey,
last game didn't matter. What's the worst thing could happen? You lose.
I'm glad you said that because I get these stats sent to me every day. Do you know that he is the favorite, the odds-on favorite to throw for the most yards in the college football playoff? He edges out Dylan Gabriel from Oregon. Yeah. Quinn Ewers is the number one. Yeah, he's the favorite.
Yeah, because he'll get an extra game. Then
that for sure. But they throw. So maybe the weather also factors in too. They're not playing anywhere that would be the elements would affect anything.
Let me say my Packers buddies send me stuff sometimes. My NFL stat of the week involves Jordan Love real quick. I'll be quick when we get out of here.
Yeah.
Promise. So Jordan Love, when it's Toyotathon.
I've seen this. Yeah.
Like 26 touchdowns and 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
When it's not Toyotathon, 29 touchdowns and 25 interceptions. How is he not driving a Toyota Tundra and it's like Lambeau Field, the frozen tundra, to me, it's the greatest stat I've seen all week. You get a new one every week that blows your mind. I know the Rico Dowdle rushing success stats going around, which is a weird one. But yeah, Toyotathon is good to Jordan Love. That's my stat.
I've seen that. That is very fascinating. One more on the college football playoff, though, because there is going to be a game hosted at AT&T Stadium. Mm-hmm. So I was thinking about just buying a single ticket right now to possibly go, because I think the cheapest ones are like about $300 or something like that.
Jeez.
But you don't know who's going to be there. So this is why I'm not going to get one. What if it's Arizona State and Tennessee?
Dude.
Like, how many people will be there?
Okay, so
it'll probably be Texas and Oregon. And if that's the case, then our friend Joseph Hoyt, who asked a question there, he'll be there. Clarence Hill, a friend of the show, he will be there. That I'm looking forward to, because I can meet up with some other people, enjoy it, like not having rooting interest for either team, just kind of enjoy the game. But I'm scared of the possibility of, like, if Arizona State was to make it there, like, I don't know.
The Big 12 championship game was Arizona State, and who'd they beat? Iowa State.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, I was going to go, and then I was like, seats are $20.
Yeah.
And then I realized, man, if I went to that game, I'd be like, why did I come to this? Because it's Arizona State and Iowa State. Like, who cares? I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. So we're sneaking a little. We can do it all. Let's get our picks going here. Sod, only winner last week. Look at him go. I'm going to go Cowboys.
Here we go.
This is for my guys.
Cowboys 35, Bucks 7. Sorry, go on.
This is for the Hernandez brothers who think I hate the Cowboys, and those guys love Zeke. Cowboys 23, Bucks 17. So this is for you guys. I love you, and thanks for listening, even though we disagree on Cowboys running back situation sometimes. John.
I'm going Bucks 24, Cowboys 20.
All right.
Still don't trust them at AT&T Stadium. So I'm going to give a slight edge to Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
And not after what they did to the Giants on Thanksgiving Day, that didn't turn you? Let's go to Sod.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, for me, Baker, I know is dealing with a knee injury, but I'm sure he's going to play, especially with the stakes at this point and everything. But yeah, I don't trust them at home. And I also think that they're going to be eliminated from playoff contention by the time they take the field, because I do think I'm picking the Commanders to beat the Eagles. And so, so because of that, I do think that the Cowboys will officially be eliminated when they play the game. With that being said, I'm going to go Bucks 34, Cowboys 20.
All right.
Okay. You got Commanders beating the Eagles?
Yeah.
Okay. If anybody picks the right score of this game, whatever I have to donate to that, I will also give the same amount of money to you if that happens.
To Sod?
To Sod, yes.
Okay.
All right.
Deal. I like it. And Kent. I know Kent's got a lot of projects going.
Oh,
Kent,
yeah.
are you with
Let's
us?
see here. Yeah, I'm with you. Bucks 24, Cowboys 25.
You sneaky devil.
Sneaky devil.
Look at him go. You wouldn't get you never see 24 too. I love it. Beautiful.
What if they're wearing the creamsicle uniforms? Does that change your pick, Kent?
Yeah, I think it actually gives them a disadvantage.
Oh, well.
I think when teams wear something that's drastically different than their normal uniform, it actually hurts them because they're not used to seeing it downfield.
Interesting. Kind of so I need a Sod hot take too. Bold take is your take of Rico Dowdle to get 200 yards last week was pretty close. 149.
And it was first half was going great. I'm gonna say this is a.
I think you've already said it with that Washington one, but continue.
That's not that high. What is Philadelphia favored? Like,
yeah, I know. I'm actually surprised. I just looked it up since you said it was only 3.5. It is
3.5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, boo. They're wearing their traditional uniforms. I just looked it up. Sorry, Ken. No creamsicles. Sorry, go on.
No, this is a cop out, but I'm gonna say 1 week after missing 70, Aubrey gets another shot at at the record, maybe not 70, but 67 plus. And I'm going to say he makes it. This is the game. AT&T Stadium, controlled environment. Feel like this is the one.
All right. Now we're talking here.
Like
it might be the one.
clean, or does it doink the crossbar?
Oh, it definitely dongs. Yeah.
It dongs? Okay. I just wanted to,
Yeah.
I wanted to hear KT say that. I knew where that was going.
Of course. Come on. You put it up on the tee. I'm going to pull up my driver. I'm going to smash it down the fairway every time.
Didn't you tweet at somebody for not saying that? Like Nance or something?
Dude, Tirico. Tirico. I mean, of all his offenses, one.
Did you tag him in that?
No, because, I don't want the.
I saw that. I was like,
there was a time when I was into that, but I don't want that juice. It's like, God, I don't have people coming at me. But he said, doink for the division.
Yeah.
Because the Chiefs.
Pretty good.
You could have said dong for the division.
It is pretty amazing, though. I get your frustration, and deservedly so, but it is pretty impressive, like when things like that happen, like how fast someone as talented as him comes up with like a saying like that.
Yeah, it was great. It was ready to go, and it was good. It just, when it's in your lap like that, it wouldn't have taken long to just get there.
Yeah.
Because if it's not a doink, it's a dong. It's not a dink. It's never been a dunk. It's always been those two things.
Brandon Aubrey, 0 dongs this year.
I think so too. Which, good kickers aren't flirting with disaster all the time.
Yeah.
He didn't have one in Washington? Maybe I'm thinking of a year ago.
I don't think he's donged any.
I don't think he has either.
I think that's the one. Or is that the one where he slipped and then it went just a little wide right?
Yeah, that's probably.
Yeah. And then the early New York Giants game was just a little wide right. But
yeah.
I mean, dude, I remember watching like in the practice facility, like Maher just donging in practice. Like, what?
Yeah.
It's so nice. Like, we're not going to take this for granted.
You know what? Practice, do they still have at the Star, like the arena football field goals that are like really short?
Yeah,
so
they're
basically practicing on like a 10-foot wide field goal all week. So that when they get to the game, it feels easy.
They have those, but it's usually just on the one field, but then on the other field, they're the normal distance. But yeah, they do still have the smaller ones for sure. But then again, they're outside, and it's such a wind tunnel in between those two buildings that I'm sure most of the kicking, especially this time of year, gets done inside.
I feel as if we've given the people what they wanted today.
I hope so.
On this very free podcast. Let me just remind you.
Brains, jelly roll.
Yeah. If you ever don't like what you're getting, just remember you're not paying for it. For Sod and John and Kent, follow their work over at The Athletic. Go ahead and give that Mad About Movies podcast a listen to. Always up to something over there. In fact, if you want to get on Spotify and give Forever the Sickest Kids a couple streams, they'll get a few pennies out of that. I am
a lot of streams.
Kevin. Can I promote real quick to my Cowboys audience? Friday night during the Notre Dame Indiana game, I will be on my YouTube channel streaming my top 40 songs of 2024.
Wow.
Eat your heart out, Casey Kasem.
I'll be there. Yeah, I'll be
Rick
watching.
Dees.
How many genres are we talking about here?
For me, you're going to find out that you can really whittle out of quite a few genres.
Please tell me country is one that you can whittle out.
There's 0 country songs on my top 40.
In.
Okay, now, well, you're going to talk smack about Jelly Roll, and you don't even have any appreciation for his genre.
Well, you know what? Take it back.
Offensive.
There's actually a Sturgill Simpson.
Not one. No Casey Musgraves.
There's a Sturgill Simpson song on there.
Okay.
So
you
Johnny Blue Skies?
Johnny Blue Skies. Yeah.
Nothing from the Thanksgiving Day halftime show performer?
No.
Nothing from the Twisters original soundtrack?
Nope. No. Once Garth and George and all the 90s guys were gone, I kind of gave up on it.
Alan Jackson?
I mean, there was a time way down yonder on that Chattahoochee, but not anymore.
John Michael Montgomery?
Oh, sold to the lady on the second row. She's an 8, she's a 9, she's a 10. I know.
I mean, bangers.
Ruby red lips, blonde hair, blue eyes. I know. I know. I'm from a town. My neighbors were farm animals growing up. Like, I know. Like,
did you eat any of them?
No. I saw what they do to the goats, though, and it is not pleasant.
You said your neighbors were farm animals or
yeah,
had
kind of. I mean,
he did say they were farm animals,
but both.
I don't understand though. And honestly, I don't care if people don't want to hear this because they could have turned it off already. But okay, so hold on. So you're telling me that you lived out like in an area like that and you don't like any country music at all? How did that happen?
Well, I think a lot of mainstream country music got really bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So wait.
So you said you were listening in the 90s is what you're saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I got you.
Dude, Garth Brooks box set right behind me.
Oh, yeah. See that right?
The real king of country music, if he can escape these allegations. And maybe it's because I just watched episode 2 of the Aaron Rodgers documentary, but where I'm from, you just kind of become one with the environment around you, you know?
Yeah. You are a chameleon.
Everyone, has their thoughts on things. He does talk about his family a little bit. It's interesting.
It's just wild because I don't even think I could, if I'm just sticking to songs that came out in 2024, I don't even think I could name 40 songs that just came out in 2024.
So you
got Shabuzi on there?
No, he's not gonna make it for me.
Damn it.
For my list. I mean, that's the thing about the
thing. Can you put him at 41?
No, he didn't know. You have to understand, he didn't make my 100 song list that I make and put out that whole playlist on Spotify. He didn't make that. Damn. So I had to take my 100, get him down to 40 for the countdown on Friday night.
Wait, do you have any Taylor Swift songs on there?
Nope.
Nice.
No, not this year. I thought that album was a snoozer, by the way, So
I'm willing to bet you have multiple, though, KT. Chapel Roan songs on there.
There is one.
Oh, okay.
Just one.
Did anybody do the
top 40 stuff?
Does anybody do a halftime show that's of note for the night Thanksgiving game? Because you've already crapped on the first two games halftime performers and left them off your list. So was there anybody in that night game?
I said Shabuzi was way better than Jack Harlow last year. So, no, I don't think they did one for the night game.
Okay.
Did Green Bay run out Natasha Bedingfield? They might have run out Natasha Bedingfield. I'm serious on this.
That's pretty random that you would know.
I'm serious. Packers Dolphins halftime show.
She did not play unwritten at halftime of the NFL game.
At the blank page
There's no way that happened.
That's a banger.
It was Lindsey Sterling. It was Lindsey Sterling. Okay. It was the violin girl. Yeah.
Very close. Very close. Similar names, everything. Yes.
Hey, Unwritten's a banger.
It is a banger. I agree.
All right.
I think we've done enough here.
We have done enough.
Escape these allegations. Oh my god!
Turn off the pod, KT.
Okay, so here's the deal. John will have the weekend review thing. Go check out. Sod wrote a good piece apparently about teams actually quitting on their coach and stuff like that, which answered one of their questions. So go check that out. Yeah. So do it all, and we'll see you later in the week. Go Cowboys, everyone! Man.
I've eaten a lot of raccoon.